Guys, I have some disturbing news. I found this in my bankroll a couple days ago. That's right, a disgusting $50 bill that's been bringing bad luck and energy to all my poker sessions. Obviously, I disposed of it, so now I should go back to crushing the local 1-3 tables. With that situation taken care of, let's get right into the hands.
It was amazing how bad they were.
After splashing about with the 1-2 gremlins for about 20 minutes, I finally get called up to the big leagues, 1-3. My third hand in, there's an under the gun open to 15, action folds to me on the button, and I peel pocket kings. Pocket kings on the button seems a bit overpowered, but I'm not complaining. I bump it up to $50, the blinds fold, and the original raiser makes the call. Heads up to a flop of Jack, 3, 5, 2 clubs. Under the gun checks, and I go for a bet of $40. Tons of stuff for me to get value from. Stuff like Jack X, pocket pairs like 8s, 9s, 10s, and the obvious front door flush draw. Under the gun makes the call, and we see the king of spades on the turn. This is a good card. It gives me the nuts, but it might be too good, as hands like ace jack, jack 10, pocket 9s and 10s might be reluctant to put more money in the pot. Under the gun checks, and I decide to size down a little bit. I make it $60 to go, and to my delight, under the gun sticks around. Off to a brick river, the 8 of hearts. Under the gun checks once again, and I only have one move. Take him all in for his remaining $120. I jam, and eventually under the gun makes the call, and we start this session by immediately stacking somebody. Or so I thought. I said all in and put 2 green chips in the middle. Apparently the dealer didn't hear me say all in, and my opponent didn't either. I'm getting pushed the pot, and I'm wondering, where's the rest of this dude's stack? I go for the GTO moan, saying I said all in, and I deserve that guy's last $70. Just kidding, guys. I'm a great guy. I said, no sweat. My fault, I should have said it louder. But I took a mental note to stand up and scream that I'm all in the next time I shove, to make sure this situation doesn't happen again.
It's the only room I don't see kings for.
3 hands later, and it's time for a double board bomb pot. The flop on the top board comes ace, ace 3 rainbow, and the flop on the bottom board comes queen, jack 5 rainbow as well. I peel my cards, and what do you know? Ace king offsuit, sitting with top trips on the top and a gut shot to Broadway on the bottom. Under the gun bets $50, and then under the gun 2 raises to $135. I think you guys all know what's coming next, but this time I'm going to make my intentions very clear.
I'm all in.
All in?
I heard the
that.
all in
I heard
method.
that one.
I'm all in. All in, everybody.
I heard that one.
Oops.
Did you say something?
Under the gun folds, but under the gun 1 makes a call. The top board comes jack 4, and the bottom board comes 7-2. I don't improve on the bottom board, but still have top trips. I table my hand, and under the gun tables pocket 5s for a flopped set on the other board. One of these days, I'm going to scoop a double board bomb pot, and it's going to be awesome.
3 5s.
This next hand, there's 3 limps to me on the big blind, and I check my option with the beautiful 5-6 offsuit. Not sure why I can't manage to get my cards in frame. You would think by now I'd be able to do that, but I assure you it was 5-6 offsuit. Off to a surprisingly good flop of 9, 4, 7, 2 hearts. I decide to lead out for $15. The cutoff and button both make the call. Off to a rather pleasant turn card. It's a 3 of clubs, giving me the stone cold nuts in this multi-way pot. Both players were playing about $250 effective, so I decided to size up again to $75, setting up for about a 2/3 pot size jam on the river. The cutoff folds, but the button makes the call. The river's not great. It's a 5 of spades. Now any 6 makes a straight, and my action is probably going to get killed. So this obviously sucks, but I still jam. Maybe some non-believing 2 pairs can make the call. After thinking for a bit, the button makes the call. I turn over my hand, and my day is immediately ruined as the button turns over 6-9 for top pair, and then he rivered his gut shot to give us the same hand. Anyone else just hate poker?
Huh?
To chop, yeah.
This next hand, there's an under the gun open to 10. Action folds to me in the low jack, and I look down at the beautiful 4-5 of clubs. This hand is way too weak to make the call, but isolating a player who's going to be out of position isn't the worst idea, so I bump it up to $40. This gets the job done as it folds around to the under the gun player who makes the call. Heads up to a flop of 9-3 deuce with one club. Just about as good of a board you could ask for when you 3-bet the 5-4 suited. I'm getting ready to blast off, but then under the gun donks into me for $20. Alright guys, it's time for a GTO optimized low stakes exploit. If somebody donks into you in a 3-bet pot, unless you have the nuts, just snap raise them. Pretty much every time they're just afraid that if they check, you're going to bet big, so they're like setting their own price or something. Case in point, I raised to $75. He looks like he hates his life and folds. Try this strategy out and let me know how it goes for you in the comments. Shortly after, I pick up pocket aces under the gun. I open to 15. I get not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 callers. 5 ways to a flop of 9-3 deuce rainbow. Action checks to me, and on a board this dry, I go for a smaller sizing. I make it $25 to go. And the low jack, next to act, raises to 75. It folds to the button who makes the cold call. The big blind folds, and now action's on me. I'm not gonna lie guys, I thought for a while about what I wanted to do. Every fiber of my being believed that the razor just flopped a set. I was about to fold, but then I got a grip of myself, remembered it's 1-3, he could be doing this with literally anything, and I make the call, seeing as it's only $50 to win a pot. That's like 200 something, 220. The turn's a great card. It's another 3, making it less likely my opponent's flopped a set or 2 pair. I check, the low jack checks, and then the button checks as well. So that's a relief. Pretty certain I have the best hand now going into the river. It comes a 10 of hearts, which is a really great card. I know it's a bit optimistic, but say the low jack was raising the flop with 9-10 for protection or something like that. He now thinks he river top 2 pair. But the player with the real top 2 pair is about to bet right now. I make it $225 targeting that specific holding, but unfortunately the low jack and button quickly fold. Can never really complain when you go 5 ways to the flop with pocket aces and take the pot down there.
You can do it. You know that.
The $6 straddles on, action folds to me in the low jack, and I peel ace king offsuit. Certainly a prime candidate to raise. I make it $20 to go, and only the big blind makes the call. Heads up to a flop of queen 3-3 2 diamonds. The big blind now leads out for $25. While this is a very strange maneuver, it's not going to get me off my hand. I have 2 overs and some backdoor draws. I make the call. The turn is the 7 of diamonds, completing the front door flush draw. The big blind leads out for $25 again. This is literally never a sign of strength, so I think about bluffing, but he's kind of just giving me a really good price to hit my flush or 2 overs, so I make the call. The river's now an offsuit 4, so I fail to improve. The big blind now bets out for $50, and I feel like I have a mandatory bluff spot here. These tiny donk bets usually aren't a sign of strength. I think my line of raising pre-flop, calling flop, calling turn, then jamming over a river bet is going to look extremely strong. Plus I'm going to have a ton of hands that are going to jam for value on this river. Pocket queens obviously. Plus I can rep ace queen, king queen, and the king high flush as well. So I go for it, I jam for an additional $150. The big blind looks pretty upset, he thinks for a bit, and throws his cards away. So, nice to get this one through.
Once it starts, they're gonna put it on everything.
The very next hand, I'm dealt 8-9 of diamonds and under the gun +1. I open to 15. There's one caller to the button who makes it $65. Action folds around to me, and I make the call. The other player gets out of the way, and we're heads up to a flop of ace, 3, deuce, 2 hearts. I check, and the button checks back. The turn's a brick, an offsuit 6, and I decide to take a stab at this pot. I make it $40, and the button makes a call. The river comes the 4 of spades. So now any 5 makes a straight. Plus, the front door flush bricked out. I decide to fire another bullet and make it $125. The button goes into the tank for about a minute and decides on a min click up to $250. I snap fold. Probably just got trapped by pocket aces, which is bound to happen when you're an aggro fish like me. I don't know, a pretty weird hand. Probably should have just folded to the 3-bet or even just folded 8-9 suited in early position. Either way, kind of a punt, but that'll happen.
The food wasn't good there in general, so.
What else?
A couple hands go by, and I'm dealt pocket jacks in the big blind. There's 4 limps to me, and I bump it up to $30. Action folds around to the cutoff, who makes the call, and then the button does as well. So we're 3 ways to a flop of 6, 4, deuce, all clubs. I decide to start with a check. The cutoff now bets $50. He only has about $40 behind, so very down to play for the rest of his stack. But then the button, who has about $500 behind, makes the call. With my overpair and jack high flush draw, I decide to go for the check raise up to $200. With the button just flatting here, I should be ahead of him the vast majority of the time, but my hand is pretty vulnerable to a bunch of holdings that he could be flatting with, so I either want to squeeze him out of the pot or get my money in good. The cutoff makes a call for his last 40, and then the button ends up folding, so we're heads up to a run out. The cutoff gets pretty excited, asks the dealer if he can flip over his cards. He was like a newer player, and with a smile on his face, he flips over the 4 deuce offsuit. Well, that sucks, but we can still improve, right? Wrong. The turn and river both brick, and we lose to the good old 4 deuce off.
Doesn't get better than this.
This final interesting hand, there's 3 limps to me in the hijack, and I open to $25 with pocket aces. The big blind and 2 of the limpers make the call, so we're 4 ways to a flop of 10, 9, 6, 2 diamonds. The big blind, the same player from the last hand, now leads out for $90. This dude obviously loves donk betting, but hey, I'm here for it. I mean, yeah, he could have flopped a straight, flopped a set, flopped 2 pair, something like that, but it's also very possible he's just on some type of draw. So when action folds to me, I put on my Vietnam veteran hat and adult diaper and say, son, if you got it, you got it. I'm all in. I fade the snap call, which is good news, and eventually he makes the call for his last $200. The turn comes the jack of clubs, and the river the queen of hearts. I turn over my aces, and the big blind turns over 5-7 offsuit for a flopped gut shot. At this point, I think I was up like $250, but lost like 100 with pocket jacks, and then 100 with pocket jacks again, 150 with ace queen suited, and I ended up booking a loss of $120. It is what it is. Would have liked to book a win, but I don't know. I feel like I played okay besides the 8-9 hand. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up the session. We have this week's featured comment down below, and please like and subscribe. It helps the channel a ton. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week.